Doug, what was the clinical trial enrollment process like for you?
Yeah, it wound up, well, it was a very thorough process, as you well know. And it began with some lengthy interviews with the research trial lead. And in addition, I had to provide all my health history and medical records of the disease process to date. And from there, we began testing with scans, MRIs, blood tests, along with a tumor biopsy to establish a baseline of where we're starting at the point of the trial beginning, so we can measure progress during the trial. So it was a lengthy process. Took about 2 months in total from first meeting the docs to getting into and starting the trial post the test process.
Did you have to sign an informed consent, and did you feel like it was a document that you understood when you enrolled in it? Did you have a chance to ask questions of the research team about what was involved?
Yeah, the informed consent process, I mean, it takes some time to work your way through that and to review it. It was quite thorough. There was a lot of questions along the way, which they were able to answer for me. I think, the key for me after reading the document and reviewing it was that if the researchers could learn something from my experience on a trial, then it was ultimately going to help us secure an answer to cure the disease, but as importantly, hopefully help me with a cure. So it was a lengthy process. It was a continuing process because remember, a trial, as you know, you continue to learn and understand what's happening on it. So you kind of have an informed consent all the way through the trial process. So I thought it was very helpful. It was useful. And I felt I went in knowing everything I could possibly know about the trial.
Great. So you've talked about the clinical trial experience, but were you presented with what your alternatives were for treatment of stage 4 melanoma? And was there a decision you had to make between standard of care and the clinical trial?
Yeah, Mike, I think the thing that turned me towards the clinical trial is more appealing. It was the beginning of sequential treatment of 2 types of immunotherapy. And my team, went through all the options, and basically they said, listen, this thing moved aggressively. This was 3 months after diagnosis, 2 months after surgery, and it came back and metastasized. So they said, we would prefer to take the more aggressive route than the standard of care. And I bought into that because I realized how quick things were moving. And, the research I did on immunotherapy to that point was very promising. It was still, there was one approved drug at the time. And then, by going with the sequential and the early study on nivolumab, which is the drug I went on, was very promising. So I thought that would be, and in further conversations with the team, I thought that would be the most promising route to try and aggressively treat that. And they wanted to be aggressive with it.